What's up, party people? Happy Friday, baby. It is a little 3-day weekend. I'm pumped. I took my morning show off. I was telling Belle. I woke up at 2:45 in the a.m., as I normally do, because I don't even need to set an alarm clock. And I'm like, the hell I am. So I grabbed a whole bunch of more Tonys, threw them in, watched a little bit of the World Cup announcement from England and their team, finally fell back asleep. I got almost 9 hours of sleep. Crazy. That doesn't happen with me, kids. And I'm pumped. I'm excited for our show.
You're not going to know what to do with yourself now.
No, I don't. I don't. I have no idea what to do with myself. It was so weird because even I woke up and it just feels weird just before I left today. And this kind of weird thing, I'm like, I haven't juggled all day because normally I juggle in the morning, gets my brain fresh. And
he means literal juggling.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of juggling balls, so I juggle. Whoop, 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 whoop. Normally I do that. And before I left the house, I'm like, I got to go juggle for like 5-10 minutes, just kind of wake me up. Because it's so, and you know this, Belle, man, it throws you off when you're not in that routine.
Yes.
Because usually by 8 o'clock, I've been up for 6 hours. As everybody else wakes up around my house because they've been up. They just went to bed a few hours earlier. So crazy time. I hope many of you guys are traveling this weekend. I am not, as usual. It's the best thing to do is not travel. Although we're getting ready to do a weird move because my wife and my daughters are heading back to Arizona to help Grandma with the house. You don't want to say you don't want to count Grandma out, but there needs to be some help, So we've got this decent-sized property with a bunch of structures on it, house. We got another giant, huge shop that's 1,800 square feet. It's incredible. And we've got all this stuff that needs to be taken care of. We've got to get the pool ready. And so she's going to go, and we were talking today, she's going to be gone for 3 months. So Belle's going to be my best friend.
I thought I already was.
You are, but you're going to be the best friend that we hang out all the time. So be prepared for movies.
I'm ready. Let's go.
It's going to be awesome. You juggle. Yes, I do juggle. It's good for the brain. I don't think people realize that, how good it is for the brain. Paddle sports, amazing for the brain. Right? So pickleball has been a help for a lot of people. And on top of that, the tennis is good. Pickleball's better if you want to make friends. There's not a lot of people play tennis. Usually you play tennis for a long time, don't have a lot of friends. Not that you don't have a lot of friends. It's not that you may have a bunch of friends, but it's just not the same. Because you go to pickleball tonight. I go play pickleball tonight with 30 people I've never met. And we could all be exchanging numbers, getting ready to hang out and go play pickleball again. It's not the same thing. Hold on a second. I just got a thing. You are so beautiful, loved, and desired, and wanted. I love you and miss you, baby. Thank you, 0544.
That's either your wife or somebody sent it
He
to the wrong
said, sorry,
name.
meant for my wife. All good. And you know what? I am beautiful. I am loved, desired, and wanted, as are all of you. A lot of stuff to get today. We're going to talk a little bit about Iran. It was weird yesterday because they were supposed to have the vote, right? And the Republicans, of course, guess what happened? Mike Johnson said, no, we're all going to go home for recess. And the reason? There was enough votes for them to say, all right, President, you got to come over here. We're going to vote on this. It's going to pass the War Powers Act. You have to come over here. You have to explain to us what is going on and sell it to us. And Mike Johnson said no, wasn't going to happen. And sent everybody home. Is what it is. I still think there's going to be one more big something or other coming. How big is it going to be? No idea. But I do feel like there is something else coming in the coming days. And we've talked about it. Trump loves to do it Friday into Saturday. Usually a Sunday, he may not do something. And then that way, come Monday, the markets have had a chance to react and that he could try to calm it down a little bit. I think we're going to get a situation where I could see it maybe it's Saturday and Sunday. How big will it be? I hope not. I hope they come to some sort of deal and get something done. But it goes back to what's that deal look like? And I think that deal looks like it's going to be not a great deal. Not a great deal for us, not a great deal for the region. And earlier today, Marco Rubio.
We also have to have a plan B. And plan B is, what if Iran refuses to open the straits? What if Iran decides we refuse to open the straits, we're going to own the straits, and we're going to charge tolls for it? Okay, at that point, something has to be done about it.
What is it? Well, here's the weird thing, okay? I think it's 12 and a half miles to their shore. That's actually their waterway. But it's always just kind of been, this is the world's place. They've been working with Oman saying, hey, Oman, I got an idea. And they're like, what? We're sick and tired of all this crap. You should also charge a toll. You can make a gank of cash. Everything's going to be awesome. And Oman's like, really? Yeah. So it'll be win-win for you too. And the thought process is, yeah, you can't have that. Could they legally have the right to do it? Yeah, if you could thread the needle between the two where you don't have to pay a toll, that's one thing. But do they potentially have the legal right to do it? That's another question. And we don't know what's going on in Saudi Arabia. You know, several of these places that they hit, we don't know how bad the damage is. So, you know, this weekend, as all of us get ready to travel, to get out there, luckily, I mean, again, I don't travel, but my wife, she's getting ready to go across the country. And I said, look, every state that you go into, take pictures. I want to see how expensive it is. Because when we came out here 2 years ago almost, it was, you know, gas prices were coming down. They weren't down to nothing, but leaving Arizona, you know, getting into Texas and other places, they had started to come down, you know, decently, because on the West Coast, they don't have the refining, and know that it's really weird. So Tucson's gas is always 30 cents cheaper, usually 40 cents cheaper than Phoenix, because on the West Coast, a vast majority of their gas comes from, well, the oil comes from the Middle East, not from other places that you would think. And so where they've got pipelines and things they could do for Texas. So as you get in there, you see the prices drop. We're going to have that. As she goes across the country, I'm like, you got to take pictures. I want to know how nasty it is in some places and how good it is. And then when you obviously get into Phoenix and towards California, it's going to get way more expensive comparatively to here. I mean, we're still in a much better position than a lot of other places, but doesn't mean it doesn't suck. There's no doubt about that. All right, kids. UFOs. More has come out. I'm not saying I've been on the website for. Here's what I did yesterday. I read most of the 190 pages of the DNC, and I've gone through it, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Wow, are they awful? And awful to the point where, as I said yesterday, the report looks like it was done by early ChatGPT. Like not the latest Claude, but early ChatGPT. There was things where they were supposed to have sources, you know, like when you do, oh, you know, here's the appendix of this. This is where we got this. It was none of that. It would just say Biden's administration, or it was so bad. And I went through a lot of that last night. And some of the other stuff I did is the UFO stuff. And I got to admit, I am kind of, there's some interesting stuff in this.
More than 50 videos and other documents detailing strange objects in the sky, many of which the military can't explain, released in the second batch of the Pentagon's so-called UFO files. Inside never-before-seen video, all part of over 200 files released so far detailing what the military officially calls unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP, better known as UFOs, long an object of public fascination.
There are several videos on here that are absolutely crazy. And there's some Apollo stuff where they were saying, hey, we're seeing things. That is also fascinating. Again, they're not quite there yet to tell us. They're showing us videos, but some of these are new videos. Some of this is new audio. And apparently they did shoot something down over Michigan at what point. But they did not release what they shot down. They just said they shot something down as they inch towards telling us the truth. That's why Trump wants that ballroom so bad. Oh, he wants it so bad. He could taste it. Did you change the channel in there, Bell, on you?
Yeah.
Because it changed the channel here to, I'm now watching Galavision.
Well, Mason was watching The Force Awakens, and I put it on to Fox News, and it must have affected your...
The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
What's that?
He's a Star Wars nerd.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Mason is a nerd.
He is a nerd. He's such a nerd. Oh, The Force Awakens. What should I watch? I could watch SWAT, The Weakest Linked. News Nation. Maybe I'll do that.
Man, it's pouring down outside.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Ken on vacation. Man, the weather this weekend, that's the big thing. Some of the places across the country, it's going to be more parka weather than it is, the heat in the NASCAR. Because this is the unofficial start of the new year. I mean, of summer. I'm looking outside. How bad is it? Dude, it is crashing down.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Oh, good God. It is going to be nasty out there. And we're going to have this off and on for the next several days. So be prepared out there. And if you're traveling this weekend, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but be careful out there. It's already one of those weekends where, between now and about 5 o'clock, the roads, even if it's beautiful outside, the roads were going to be a nightmare. You start adding this to it, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be so ugly this weekend. No doubt about that. We're going to have some of your text. If you guys want to give a shout out to any of the men and women who've served in your family. It's a Memorial Day weekend. A lot of us thankful that we live in this amazing country because we're so blessed to have people who are willing to sacrifice. Some pay the ultimate sacrifices in defending who we are as a nation, and in many cases, other nations. And so, if you got any shout-outs, you want us to get out there, let us know. You can hit us up on the text line. We got a little Finally Friday sound. We're also going to talk again a little bit more about Iran. Colbert signed off. Bell's got sports, and Kyle Busch. Now, we talked about it. It was breaking towards the end of the show. I think about the 2 o'clock hour. I said there was breaking news, and within an hour or two, people had found out that he had passed. Now everybody's going, what happened to the 41-year-old? And the mystery, and of course, the conspiracies that are already out there. We'll talk about that as well. Coming up, we do have your Finally Friday sounds. Happy Memorial Day Friday weekend. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Experts from Atlanta now being sent to Central Africa to battle the Ebola outbreak there. Also, former Prince Andrew, he's being investigated further for more sexual misconduct allegations. We'll have that coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Man, they're just going after that prince. He didn't do anything wrong. I thought we recognized that.
He's a perv.
Isn't it amazing?
And it would be the first royal in the history of the world to be a pervert.
I know. Could you believe that? What? Who would have thought that? Goodness me. And especially, I mean, he's totally being completely persecuted because we know Epstein didn't do anything. We know only Ghislaine did. The whole thing, it's made up. Never even heard of this Epstein
Poor
family.
guy lost all of his titles, lost his house, doesn't get access to the family bank account anymore.
Nope, gone. I mean, he's going to be working at I would say over here would be maybe I don't even know what he could do, right? Especially if he has to register.
I was reading a story the other day that he had, behind the scenes, he was thinking that maybe once, who's the son, the prince that's next in the line?
Oh, yeah, Prince William.
William. He was like, William will fix this once he gets to the throne. And William basically told everybody in the family, I ain't touching it.
Yeah, stay away from it because it wasn't a one-off. I think that's what they're finding. It's not a one-off. And for all the victims out there, you feel horrible. I also feel horrible for his daughters because it's weird. They did not strip them of their title. They still get all of the stuff. They're still called princesses. But it's got to be weird going to family dinners when you know that Pops and Mom ran with a scumbag and the dad was also a scumbag.
And he doesn't get invited to those dinners anymore.
No. He's in the backyard inside the garden shed.
Where are you going, honey? We got the dinner with William.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
If he's smart, at some point in time, he is going to sell his interview for a couple $1 million and then take what he can and go hide somewhere after he gets out of jail.
And just, keep his head down.
Yes, forever and ever. By the way, it's Friday, every Friday. Doesn't matter what Friday it is. We do a little thing called Finally Friday. We listen back to the chaos, the craziness, the lunacy that was this past week. That right there. Colbert signed off last night. And we have breaking news. Tulsi Gabbard has resigned her post as national.
Now, is that resigned or is it
Yes.
resigned, wink, wink?
It's resigned, wink, wink, probably. Apparently, also, her husband has been diagnosed with a very rare and aggressive bone cancer recently. But I think ever since she came out last year and said, hey, according to our intelligence and other intelligence agencies across the globe, Iran does not have and is not efforting to get a nuclear weapon. And since then, we've not heard really nary a word outside of going to Atlanta for the whole voting, machine thing. So she is out. Not a shocker. It wasn't if, but when, if you had that on your bingo card. Who's next?
She's going to be fine. I mean, she knows how to make a sandwich, so she's going to be fine.
Yeah. And she works out, too. It's good. Keeps yourself a good nick. It's always like I say, keeps yourself a good nick, you know what I mean?
Is that little gray stripe in her hair real?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
Yes, that is real. Not Israel, is real. That's what we're saying there. But she is out. This shouldn't be a shocker to anybody. The question is, who is next? I'm going with Patel.
I'm honestly surprised there haven't been more resignations already at this point. This seemed really kind of light for the struggles that the administration has had.
Yeah, I am. Here's the thing. I think other people that aren't the yes men type of people, because let's be real, she really wasn't, and she fell out of favor after that whole thing last March. But Hegseth and Cash and all of them, they're going to have to be pushed because they're on the MAGA train. They're not in a way that others aren't. So, yeah, I would expect that at some point in time, Cash Patel's got to be next, don't you think?
I would have bet money that he would have been gone before she was.
Yeah, I thought so too. But he just neutered her. I mean, you didn't nary heard a word from her after that testimony that day.
She's pretty much put in the timeout box.
Yeah, exactly. Except for put a hat on, kind of hide in the corner as they remove stuff from Atlanta for the whole, I guess the rigged voting, not rigged voting, however you want to work at it.
Which is something she had nothing to do with. There was no reason at all for her to be there.
Absolutely. And people question that. All right, coming up, we'll talk a little bit about Kyle Busch. Colbert signed off Iran. Bunch of other good stuff on the way as well. Happy Friday. It is the Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7.
"32 minutes past 12. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Yeah, it's raining in parts of Middle Tennessee. Clarksville getting hammered right now. Also, parts of here in the Nashville metro. And get used to it. We're going to be seeing this kind of rain for the next several days. Officials with the CDC say they're sending 7 Ebola experts from Atlanta to Central Africa to help contain the current Ebola outbreak. Dr. Satish Pillai is the CDC's incident manager for Ebola response.
Currently, the risk to the United States remains low because Ebola is spread through direct contact with body fluids and because the United States has a strong public health monitoring, infection control, and healthcare preparedness system in place.
Across the pond, British police are appealing for witnesses as they seek to broaden their investigation into potential offenses by former Prince Andrew, including sexual misconduct. British police say they're in touch with the lawyer for one woman who said she was trafficked to Andrew back in 2010.
He has consistently denied all wrongdoing. Andrew was arrested last February for suspected misconduct in public office. He was questioned for hours and then released. His arrest came after emails published in the Epstein files appeared to show Andrew had forwarded government information to Epstein while he was the trade envoy for the UK government back in 2010. His brother King Charles removing all of Andrew's titles last year over the scandal surrounding his friendship with Epstein. Marcus Moore, ABC News, London.
The NASCAR world shocked by the sudden death of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch. The 41-year-old married father of two passed away after being hospitalized for what his family calls a severe illness. Here's ABC's Will Reeve.
Busch's colleagues and competitors paying tribute. Jimmy Johnson sharing, "He was one of the most talented race car drivers I've ever shared a track with." Longtime rival Dale Earnhardt Jr. writing, "Kyle was one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history. No one can deny that."
That is the latest news. Your Memorial Day weekend forecast is coming up. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
All right, guys, you don't want to run out of money. You know that. But you want to make sure that you got everything handled when it comes to your retirement. That's why Beacon is there for you. Right now, you get a free personalized financial consultation. Just call Beacon at 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. They can help you with everything. Yes, the dollars and cents of it all. Long-term care, though, is important. I'll tell you why. When my grandmother had to go into a facility because my grandfather couldn't take care of it, and the same thing with my grandfather eventually had to go in one, the cost was insane. And if you don't set it up right, you'd be surprised how much it ends up costing. And you want to make sure that should something go wrong, that you're taking care of it. And Beacon can help you with that. Estate planning, taxes, and yes, the long-term care of your finances, which is important. Beacon has you covered across the board. This is what I want you to do. Call them today. Get your free personalized financial consultation, 615-488-9303, or check them out online at beaconcm.com, beaconcm.com. For Beacon Capital Management, this is a paid placement. Again, the breaking news, Tulsi Gabbard out. Her and her stripe gone. No longer the head of intelligence. Not a shocker. Again, she was director of national intelligence. On her outgoing message. She mentioned the fact that her husband was battling a rare form of bone cancer, and effective June 30th, she's gone. Not a shocker, like I said. I don't think it was a shocker to anybody out there that she was going to be leaving, because I couldn't even tell you what she was doing anymore.
Is she the one whose husband was the cross-dresser?
No. That was different one. That was Director of Homeland Security, right? That was the Ice Barbie. She's not Ice Barbie.
Okay.
Yeah, different. So gone. We'll see who's in there next. A lot of you giving shout-outs today. It's Memorial Day weekend. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to when it comes to somebody who served, somebody who paid the ultimate sacrifice, feel free. Let us know. We're going to get it out. Navy, WW2 Navy Destroyer Gunner Walter Ray Huddleston, his grandfather out there, 1278. Send us that. You also have several people that have sent in stuff about their family members. Again, we're going to try to get everybody on as out there. It is and we should. We're blessed, right? We're blessed to live in this country, and the men and women out there who sacrificed so much to us. Doc Tom Stone died March 28, 2006 in Helmand province in Afghanistan. Shout out there. So if you've got anybody you want to let us know, please do. We're going to get it on for you as much as possible. Somebody said cancer like Biden's. Will it disappear like Biden's? Biden's cancer is, what do you have, a prostate cancer?
Yeah.
Prostate cancer is one of those kind of, it's so slow moving. And I remember a couple of years ago as one of baseball managers, they diagnosed him in spring training, but they said, don't worry about it. Get through the year and then we'll fix it, in the off season, because it's slow moving and they can take care of it. And it's somebody like Biden, a prostate cancer like that at that age, you're not looking to do anything other than just try to contain it. It's not, if Biden was 35, they would treat it different, is what I'm saying. 4317. Can't say I'm not skeptical. Tulsi was working on transparency and restructuring the intelligence community. Her husband suddenly finds out is a rare form of bone cancer. She announces her resignation. There's skepticism for a lot of stuff around, and I'll be honest, around this administration. There's a lot of skepticism with the transparency. I mean, we've been talking about Prince Andrew, or somebody put him earlier, is it Jason's Lord Horndog or somebody? There is skepticism in some of this stuff. Not as transparent as we were hoping they were going to be. No doubt about that. Yesterday, Kyle Busch passed away. And the conspiracies run wild everywhere, right? They run wild everywhere. And last week, he raced. Okay, that's kind of an odd thing. So in the middle of the race, he told his crew chief, as they're going back and forth on the radio, have the doc ready. I need a shot. And then he went on, he won. Which is crazy. So they found him unresponsive in a simulator. And, everybody goes right to it, like heart attack, aneurysm, sepsis, I've heard, drug overdose. I don't know. I have no idea. He's 41, by all accounts, seemed to be pretty healthy outside of having a sinus infection. But the conspiracy theories yesterday were ramping up, and overnight there was so many of them. Aliens? No, not part of it. 41 though, man. Couple kids, just you think about it, just like that, gone. They're going to have a press conference later today. But you knew yesterday, too, it was because I saw it, and it, I got like these several different things that I get breaking news, and it came out, and Ken was doing one of his reports, and afterwards I said, "But Ken, we got breaking news. It's, Kyle Busch has been taken to the hospital." The way that they framed it was not one of these things where they say, he's okay, pray for the best, kind of thing. It was none of that. It was, it's bad, it's severe. That was kind of it. But at 41, whew, you think about it. Denny Hamlin talking about him. He had friends, he had enemies, as you do, especially in a sport like that. His nickname was Rowdy. Won a lot. He did. Won a lot. But like you said last weekend in his last race and win, that you never know. You never know. Terry Kine, we're getting, again, shout-outs today for soldiers, men and women who've served, some who have passed. Father, 84 years old, served respectively in a MASH unit, now hunts bears and elk. I hope he does it with guns.
Did you say MASH unit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Private First Class, John A. Rickey, Vietnam veteran. Shout out to him. And somebody said sinus infections can kill. Yeah. My first thought was heart attack.
Or stroke or something like that.
Or something like that. And that was kind of my first thought, was because of how sudden it was. And like Jason said, he had even made an appearance on Tuesday. So that was, if you're that sick, are you out there doing a lot like that? Because you think, well, maybe you can make some other people sick. I don't know. But, man, it happened, There was, you could tell yesterday, too, when we were reporting it before the announcement had come, that this wasn't one. It was like when Michael Jackson, they took him to the hospital. You knew, oh, yeah, this is not the same as, he caught his hair on fire.
And burned his scalp.
And burned his scalp. Some people say he got the shot. Some people say it sounds like COVID. I don't know. How many jabs did he get?
Well, Chad, New York Post reporting that actually the California Post, they grabbed a 911 call of first responders indicating that Kyle Busch was lying on a bathroom floor coughing up blood the day before he died.
Good God.
They had requested an ambulance there to come to the General Motors Charlotte Technical Center in Concord, North Carolina at about 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday.
That sounds like coughing up blood sounds a lot different than having a sinus infection.
Yeah, and he died the next day.
Yeah. So Kyle Petty just told Fox News that docs and IV bags is standard procedures for drivers. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I didn't understand what you said. What's standard procedure?
Like having IV bags and having docs there, that's fine. But having a shot, he wanted a shot. That's different. So a lot of people saying, how many jabs did he get? How many jabs? That is coughing up blood. And the fact that he didn't stay in the hospital, they didn't keep him in the hospital if they transported him the day before. You're coughing up blood. You figured you were going to get a full makeover inside of there. Whew. 41 years old, man. That is, and that weird kind of premonition of you never know when the last one's going to be. No doubt about that. Oh, a lot of stuff to get to today. Bell's going to do sports. He's been practicing. We've been talking a little bit.
I'm angry about it today.
You're angry about sports?
Yeah. But when we discuss it, I'll explain why.
Oh, goodness me. He's angry about sports. And again, send your text messages in. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on this Memorial Day weekend? We're so blessed, like I say, to live in a country that we live in the freedoms we have and protected by men and women, many who give the ultimate sacrifice. You know, my Uncle Vic, who passed away several years ago, he served in Vietnam, never was the same, my family said, when he came back from Vietnam, and ended up dying of cancer. And it never left him what happened over there and the ultimate sacrifice. Some give and some give later on. They come home and they're never the same. So, anyway, we can say thank you on this day. We're going to do, no doubt about that. The weather's nasty outside. There is no, how's the rain? I can't see, Bell. Is it still like pouring out there?
Nope.
Man, it was coming down earlier.
I can't even see if it's actually raining at all. If it is, it's just kind of a drizzle at this point.
Yeah, it looks a little drizzly out there. It's going to be nasty this weekend, off and on, for sure, and through Memorial Day weekend. But we're going to have all of your info you need on that, as well as the roads out there, which are going to be ugly coming up. Our buddy Bell, the sports machine, is going to deliver another one of his award-winning sportscasts. Straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
A new Federal Reserve chairman sworn in today. And also, if you're planning on flying through LaGuardia's airport in New York this weekend, be prepared for some chaos. We'll tell you why. That's all coming up at 1 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Again, all day we're going to give shout-outs, men and women who served out there. Dano, Patori, hope I said that right. 5th Group Special Forces, killed in action in Afghanistan. Shout out to you. Specialist Morgan Macbeth, killed in action in Ramadi. Sergeant McGee, shout out to him. Sergeant Thomas McGee as well. Thank you for your service out there. Anybody out there you want to shout out to on this weekend that, we remember the men and women who served our country and those who continue to put themselves in harm's way. Speaking of harm's way, stand back. It's time for sports.
Now it's time for Sports with Barrel. When you need to know sports information, you turn to the guy who calls basketball shooty hoops. Let's talk some sports with Barrel.
He does do a little shooty hoops. I bet you Jay's going to be impressed with this.
I know you like to play it, but I got to call foul on this pickleball garbage.
Why?
Because it's wiffle tennis.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Mm-hmm. And it should be played by kids.
I know. It's fun, though. I'm going to take you out. You know what's fun? It's when you that's what everybody thinks at first, and they go out and they see Ethel and Ed over there, and they got their 80 and they got their knee brace on. You're like, we're going to smoke them, and then all of a sudden you walk out and you're like, man, they kicked our butts. But you know what? Now what's happening is all the tennis players that are good college players, probably not going to be pro or lower pro players, have all moved over to pickleball, and they're playing pickleball. From the time I started, just like 4 or 5 years ago, to where it is now. It's the game has changed. But here's the other thing. I enjoyed tennis, but you go buy tennis courts.
Wiffle anything should not be played by a grown person.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
No.
I'm going to take you out. And you know it's going to be great. He's going to be out there in jeans and a T-shirt and like a Rush T-shirt. It's going to be awesome.
With my hair in a ponytail, wheezing because I smoked for 20 years.
It's not about whether it's hard. Look, you get a good workout, especially if you go and you play hard. But it's about being active. But it's also about the fact that you go and have fun playing the game, and you meet people, and it's good. I just remember I was watching Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf, his wife, talking about it. He goes, if we go play tennis, it'll be us and nobody else. We can get one or two. He's a pro tennis, one of the greatest of all time. He goes, but you go to places, you see that there's one person out there practices by themselves, or maybe they got a coach. He goes, I can go play wiffle tennis, as you call it, anywhere. And he goes, by the end of the night, I've made 20 friends and I'm having a good time. It is much more social than something like tennis is.
Yeah, and next somebody's going to tell me that Nerf racing should be a thing.
Nerf racing? What's that?
It's where the car's made out of Nerf material.
That'd be interesting. I have a feeling you wouldn't go very fast, and if you did, you'd start to take off.
Probably.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Wiffle tennis.
Wiffle tennis. Look at you, Bell, with his hot take. We're taking him to play. When my wife leaves here in a week or so to head back for a couple months to help Grandma out, Bell's going to be my +1 at wiffle tennis, and we'll see how he does. All right, coming up, hour number 2 of the program. Talk a little bit about the failure of the DNC. Tulsi Gabbard out. Several of you have said stuff like she's jumping ship. The rats are all jumping. We'll talk a bit about that as well. More on Kyle Busch. Hunter Biden on with Candace Owens. Very interesting, actually. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
It is 1 p.m., and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. The weather, that's part of the story. We'll be dealing with what you're seeing out there right now, the rain. We've got the wet roads, and it looks like it's going to be that way for the next several days. In fact, The road's already getting clogged up with folks trying to get out of town for the long holiday. Currently, we've got a crash, the right shoulder and right lane block, 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. And looking at traffic cameras around the North Loop, Rosa Parks, the South Loop, I mean, it's already starting to really jam up on our roadways here at 1 o'clock. Kevin Warsh. He is sworn in today at the White House as chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. He succeeds Jerome Powell. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas swearing in Warsh. Here is the man after he was sworn in.
While I'm not naive about the challenges we face, I believe, Mr. President, these years can bring unmatched prosperity that will raise living standards for Americans from all walks of life. And the Fed has something to do with it.
If you're flying out of New York's LaGuardia Airport for the holiday weekend, be prepared for some delays and some cancellations. One of the two runways is closed. Why? A huge sinkhole popped up here a couple of days ago. Workers have been trying to repair this thing. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is at LaGuardia.
Engineering crews have been working around the clock to fix this, but also to make sure that it doesn't happen again or that the sinkhole were to reopen. Port Authority officials telling ABC News that they are combing through every single inch of the affected area and that crews have already made some proactive repairs, as they're calling it, over the last overnight hours, the past 24 hours, give or take. But right now, it is still closed.
The Pentagon releasing dozens of new videos of UFOs. Incidents the government says they can't explain. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
More than 50 videos and other documents detailing strange objects in the sky, many of which the military can't explain, released in the second batch of the Pentagon's so-called UFO files. Inside never-before-seen video, all part of over 200 files released so far detailing what the military officially calls unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP, better known as UFOs, long an object of public fascination.
That is the latest news. Weather's on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. Giving a shout-outs across the board for people who served, passed away. And, you know, it's Memorial Day weekend. We're blessed. And trying to get to as many as possible. Memorial tribute for 38 servicemen, Special Forces support, along with K-9 on board. 17 Chinook shot down. 8/16/2011 over Afghanistan. It's from Christina. Robert Walker passed away. World War I. Man, that's going back.
I just wanted to interject real quick, and I'm going to give you a list of names. Sergeant Benjamin Pennington, Captain Cody Cork, and if I get any of these wrong, I apologize, but Sergeant First Class Noah Tygens, Sergeant First Class Nicole Amore, Sergeant Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzin, Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons, Major Ariana Savino, Tech Sergeant Ashley Pruitt, Specialist Seth Koval, PFC Curtis Angst, and Airman First Class John Klinner. Those are the 13 servicemen that have died during Operation Epic Fury. And just my personal opinion, I think one of the best ways to honor the fallen military members we have, stop making more of them unnecessarily.
Yes. No doubt. There's no doubt. You know, yesterday they were supposed to have a war powers vote. They didn't because Mike Johnson knew they've got enough. They've got enough, and they can get this vote across. And that's a tough. He is struggling to hold together what little he has, and he sees what's coming. Inflation is up, gas prices are up, and people are feeling it. And they're asking the question, what are we doing over here right now? What are we doing over here in this part of the world at this point in time when we're told every day that we've destroyed it, that there's nothing left? They're at the bottom of the ocean. They don't have anything left. They're all gone. And they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we... Trump's figuring, okay, what's the best way I can get out of this damn thing that I don't want to be in, that was sold to me as if it was going to be smooth and easy. And there is no, the right answer is you're going to have to walk away. That's it. And, I mean, we're not going to stay there in perpetuity.
Yeah, and the alternative to that is you've got to double down, and that's not going to do anybody any good.
No. We're going to put more of our men and women at risk. We're going to put more of our... By the way, for those of you guys who don't know, 41 of our jets were either shot down or drones by Iran or friendly fire. The damage done to much of the bases we had was way worse than originally reported. And we're at a standstill now. And Iran has no reason to give up right now. They don't. And earlier today, Senator Secretary Marco Rubio, soon to be King of Cuba.
There's been some progress. I wouldn't exaggerate it. I wouldn't diminish it. There's more work to be done, but look, yeah, there's been some, and that's a good sign. I'm glad they said that. We're not there yet.
Not there yet. Okay, but what is there? See, what does there look like? Because the ego side of it. Say what you want about Trump. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. His ego is a little big. He can't take something that is less than what Obama got, and they recognize that. He even came out the other day and said, well, how about a moratorium of 20 years on any kind of enrichment? And, of course, Bibi was not happy about that. He wants never. Well, dude, you're not going to get never. You're not. You're not getting never. It isn't going to happen. And here's the other thing that isn't being talked about. Bibi is also, well, he's a vast majority of the problem in this situation, where last year they said that we're going to do this Operation Midnight Hammer, and you're going to be a part of it, or else we may have to go big. And the question was, what do you mean big? And yeah, that was thrown about, the nuclear option. So if Trump says, I'm out, and he says, well, then we'll have to figure something out with this, that's a scary thing. So now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and a place we don't need to be, that is only going to cause us, again, it's not making healthcare cheaper. That ain't happening. Trust me, I know. It is not making the world a safer place. That ain't happening. It is not making life here more affordable. So what's the plan? Because the plan isn't we're going to blow everything up and kill them all, and then everyone will like us and things will go back to normal. That isn't going to happen. So what's the real deal? And we can't leave. Trump can't leave going, all right, I'm taking this off-ramp here where the regime is stronger than they were before, that they've now figured out a way to fleece the world by going, we're going to charge a toll, and they're making more money. That's not, and they still have all of their stuff, i.e. their, 800, 900 pounds of uranium. He can't do that. But you're going to have to come up with something, and it's not going to be perfect. And it sucks. I get that. We should never have been there in the first place.
We also have to have a plan B. And plan B is, what if Iran refuses to open the straits? What if Iran decides we refuse to open the straits, we're going to own the straits, and we're going to charge tolls for it? Okay, at that point, something has to be done about it.
Well, it's got to be done. Are we going to go in further? Are we going to put boots on the ground? The boots on the ground, somebody said yesterday, because I asked everybody, what do you guys think out there that we should do? Okay, so we're not going to nuke them. That's not going to happen. So what do you think we should do? And several of you said, well, how about, what if we provide air cover and then Israel can go in? Okay. Does Israel have enough soldiers to go in at this moment in time? They're kind of spread thin. They're in Lebanon. They're still over somewhat in Gaza. Do they have enough to go in there? Because it's not a couple thousand. It is going to be, if you're going to go in there and try to procure everything, you're looking at 100, 200,000 people potentially. That's big, and that terrain is nasty. One of only a few countries that have never been conquered. They've never been colonized. And it's not like Venezuela. Venezuela, compared to this, was simple. You had a very unpopular person to a lot of people. You had a hodgepodge of people that were protecting him, and you also had a bunch of people around him that, let's be real, they were fine with him being snatched up. They didn't care. That is not this at all. And when you look at what's going on, we as a nation are questioning the expense of life that we're feeling right now because we were told inflation, going to beat it, right? We're done, right? Gas prices going to absolutely make sure that this thing is done, and we're going to be fine. And life's going to be better. It's going to be more for all of these things that were promised and the things that matter most. The reason Trump is president is because Trump addressed the issues that the DNC didn't address. It's a 192-page autopsy that came out. First of all, the cultural stuff, especially the they-them ad, was huge. We'll play that a little bit later. But affordability. Do you remember how big affordability was in the last, in 2024?
It was a buzzword.
Yeah. But now, and Trump comes out and says, that's a made-up word. There's a word you guys used. Everybody used affordability. You can't say that's a pretend word. And we have yet to feel the full effect of this. And we're months away from this thing becoming not just more expensive for us, but also a global issue when it comes to lives. And you got to think about, what was it? Cocoa. Cocoa is up 35, 40% in the last couple weeks. Well, what's that mean? Think about all the stuff. Go get a candy bar. Go get all of these things that play into it. Little things that start to add up. And it's not like if you go today to the store and, everybody thinks, well, inflation's up 3%. What's it mean? Well, if it was $100, it's $103. It's not. It's compound interest like thing. It's 3% here, 3% there. Next thing you know, you go and a thing that cost you $100 now costs you $135. And you feel that. And that's, you could, what's going on with Walmart coming out and saying people aren't spending the same kind of money? They're just not. They're not.
Walmart is warning that it may have to raise prices because of rising fuel costs. And PepsiCo, the owner of Lay's and Doritos, they're planning to raise prices on chips. So even the sides and the snacks are coming with a little bit of splurge.
Yeah. A little bit of a splurge. And I've noticed it. My wife did a Walmart order yesterday. We kind of have like a lot of the same order, it's already in there. And yeah, it was definitely way more expensive. You can feel it. But it's the little things that are going to be coming with this. And got to figure it out, Fish or cut bait, whatever you want to say. And it needs to come. I do think he's going to do, I wouldn't be surprised if we felt something this weekend. Because he canceled. Don Jr.'s getting married this weekend, and he said he's not going. Originally, he said he was going to go, but now it looks like he says he's not going. He truth tweeted something out, Trump to skip son's wedding that he labeled a no-win for him. So, after telling reporters yesterday he's trying to make the intimate ceremony, Donald Trump Jr. and Bettina Anderson. But he said it's not good timing because of the Iran war, and Trump confirmed he won't attend, which makes me think that he doesn't want to be seen at a wedding or something like that, and something happens or there's another attack, and our men and women are out there doing stuff and launching attacks and maybe fending off attacks, and he's at some sort of wedding. And I think it's in the Bahamas. So...
yeah, that wouldn't be good optics.
No.
Somebody's going to snap a picture of him on the beach or something. And
either that or he's using this as I'm not really a fan of Bettina. I don't think this is a good idea.
My son will have another 3 or 4 marriages. I'll go to those.
If he's anything like Dad. Wasn't he was the one engaged to the one that's now the ambassador to Greece, right? Gavin Newsom's ex. I forget her name.
I am not sure.
Yeah. But she's Bettina Elizabeth Anderson. She's a American socialite and model. How do you become a socialite? Is that a thing? Do you get paid for that?
No, you just have to have money.
So you just have to have money? That's it. I love how they say socialite like that. I have no idea what does that entail? Does that entail going to cocktail parties in the Hamptons? That's what I feel like. New York, the Hamptons, that's a socialite. Do we have socialites here? We do. It's a little different, right? Not like there. There it's very much oh, yes, I'm a socialite. Yes, very much so. Palm Beach. So she is a model. She was in Milan. She was on the cover of Quest. As well as representing Hamilton Jewelers, and now she is going to marry Trump Jr. this week. So, and Trump will not be there. And Trump looked at the optics and went with it. And I think that's an odd thing because you're like nobody would blame you to go to your son's thing. At the same time, you could probably say, "Can you guys postpone it for a week? I'll make sure everybody gets back there." If you guys could postpone it for a week. All right, coming up. A lot more stuff to talk about still today as we try to squeeze in. We got some of your text messages for the men and women who have served us. We're going to give you guys a shout out there as a remembrance on this Memorial Day weekend. Weather's going to be nasty out there. Travel is going to be huge. Talk a little bit about that as well. If you missed any show, make sure you grab our podcast. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7.
A new Federal Reserve chairman sworn in today. President Trump was there and had some things to say. The Tennessee Secretary of State's office, they're campaigning to prevent child hot car deaths. We'll have details on that. It's all at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
More than 50 videos and other documents detailing strange objects in the sky, many of which the military can't explain, released in the second batch of the Pentagon's so-called UFO files. Inside never-before-seen video, all part of over 200 files released so far detailing what the military officially calls unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP, better known as UFOs, long an object of public fascination.
Yeah. What are they? Are they demons? They be demons. Are they... Here's my thing. So it's... And I've talked to several people who work in government and stuff, and one said to me one time, "There's your choice. Are they aliens? Unknown? It's possible. Again, we don't know. A different dimension, which we've talked about before, and that's where I think it is. Or would you rather it be our enemies who have technology that is so much more advanced than anything we have?" I would like to think it's different dimensions. Because aliens, I think, as we know, would probably... They're probably not coming here because they want to be friends, is what we're saying.
You know, one thing that kind of annoys me and I get a giggle out of at the same time is when you'll see somebody on a TikTok video or a Twitter, in your Twitter feed or whatever, and they're going, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a UFO." Okay, yeah, you're right. It is unidentified.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you for the assistance on nailing that down.
It could be a plane, but we have not identified.
It might be a bird, but it's unidentified.
That's right. So we are unaware of what exactly it is, but we have not identified it. So I just feel like they're slow walking these things out. There's got to be more to it. And I'm sure some of it is our stuff that through the years that we have, perfected, made better and better technology we've used. But I also think there's more to it than, if you will, what meets the eye.
I could almost guarantee you that a percentage of it is our stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That they're testing, that they're, maybe they're trying to expand on an already produced technology or something. But some of that is the military testing new gear.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, I mean, even in the opening days of what happened in Ukraine fought a lot of stuff off with things that nobody had ever seen before. Where'd they get it? Obviously, it's us. We're testing stuff out. Does it work on the field? Let's get it battlefield tested, things of that nature. But there are things also that take place that we don't have we have no technology for it. And you go back to what they were talking about, was it the 3 Tic Tacs in San Diego? Going from 60,000 feet or whatever it was down to a foot or two off the ocean in the space of seconds. No, we have no technology for that. And no way a human or anything could survive anything like that. And so those are questions that still are unidentified.
A human's only going to be able to take so much G-force.
Yes. Yes. Just a smidge. That would liquefy them. Just so I don't, and some of you, it's demons. That's fine. Okay. Whatever it is, we don't know.
And that makes it unidentified.
That right there makes it unidentified. What is it? It's this, and I know that Burchett talks a lot about what goes on under the water. Because there are some things that we have seen under the water that nobody can identify. And for years, by the way, and I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about centuries. Fishermen have talked about things that fly in and out of the water. And they're not doing it because, back in the 1800s or the 1400s, they thought this will be a great story to tell everybody back in the village. It'll spread like wildfire. We'll write it on a cave. Right? You think that happened in like way back in the day? Hey, we should do some cave drawings because people are going to find this hilarious in the future.
Yeah, let's put it on a cave wall, screw Gutenberg's invention.
This is like the Weekly World News, but it's this cave. All right, coming up. DNC. I read a lot of the 192 pages of how bad they are. And man, it was bad. It was bad. To this day, the common sense eludes them. That's why even if you're struggling right now, Republicans, take heart.
This report almost sounds like self-flagellation.
Yeah.
This is how much we suck.
Yeah. And the whole thing is how much we suck, but we're not putting blame. We're just talking about places we missed. And one thing that was missed on this that really should be talked about more, we'll talk about that among other things straight ahead. Chad Ben Show, Super Talk 99.7.
It's 1:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you a pretty wet forecast here coming up in just a bit. Traffic already being a mess around just the entire loop around downtown. We've got crashes, 65 southbound at Trinity Lane, north of the city. That wreck's been there a while. Anyway, if you're looking to get out of town, well, you're going to sit in traffic already, it appears. Kevin Warsh sworn in today at the White House as chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. He succeeds Jerome Powell. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas swore in Warsh. Here is Warsh after the swearing in.
Our mandate at the Fed is to promote price stability and maximum employment. When we pursue those aims with wisdom and clarity, independence and resolve, inflation can be lower, growth stronger.
President Trump at the ceremony and also speaking.
I want Kevin to be totally independent. I want him to be independent and just do a great job.
Back here in Tennessee, the Secretary of State's office is handing out reminders to prevent child hot car deaths. There are hang tags that you put on the rearview mirror that say baby in the back on one side and where's the baby on the other side. Republican State Representative Scott Sapicki tells WTN's Matt Murphy show it all started 4 years ago after he was approached by a constituent with the idea of putting reminders in cars.
The number one scenario is you have to look out for repetition. If the wife takes the baby to daycare, then today the husband takes it, breaks his routine up, and he's not aware of it cognitively. He just doesn't think about it, and he does his normal routine.
There has been one hot car death involving a child here in Tennessee so far this year. The incident involved a baby left inside a parked vehicle in Monterey, Tennessee. And finally, a renowned climber who scaled Mount Everest more than any other person on Earth has a warning about what's happening this year. ABC's Sherry Preston with more.
On Wednesday, a record 274 climbers reached the summit of Mount Everest from Nepal, leading to long, snaking lines of people atop the world's tallest mountain. They're accompanied by Sherpa guides, meaning even more people crowding the peak. One of them, Kami Rita Sherpa, who has summited Everest a record 32 times, most recently this week, says it is too much. He's urging Nepalese officials to limit the number of permits to avoid the inevitable traffic jams that expose climbers to increased hours of harsh weather. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
You heard the rain. It's coming. There's going to be more of it. That's why USS. You need to call them today, 615-488-7855. Make sure they get out there. They understand the ground. They understand the soil. They understand how houses react with the weather. So think about this. Ground swells, right? Oversaturated. All this water starts coming. Next thing you know, pressure on your foundation leading to cracks. So you need some waterproofing help. That's going to happen. They can help you with that, all right? The inspection is free. They're going to come out and take a look. They can reroute the water from basements, crawl spaces, your own without interior drain systems, sump pumps, with battery backups. They can help you. Don't let it, whatever it is, whether it's a small leak, a crack, start to become an issue where it starts pooling and it gets to become a nightmare. Mold, wood rot, all of those things, not to mention the foundation issues. Call USS now. Take advantage of what they've got going on. 24 months, no interest until the end of June. Fix it now, pay later. Call them now. USS, 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or online at ussdn.com. Sandra goes, says the guy who climbed Everest 32 times, how busy it up there. He might be part of the problem. Well, that's kind of his job. He Sherpa. He's from Nepal. He's from that area. If everybody leaves, he stays. Huh?
That's how he pays his bills.
Yeah, that's his gig. I saw pictures yesterday or last night. If you've ever been to Disneyland and you stake in that line, they should start putting up signs that says 90 minutes from this spot. You're like, oh, God. 60 minutes. There's no fast pass. I wonder if they've got, I mean, you've got to be, how long do you think people stay up? Like, get up there, right? You know, it's like a meet and greet, right? You go, you take a picture, shake hands, you walk away. You don't get to ask 40 questions or sit there for 2 hours on the top of Mount Everest. Just go, move. That's it. Go. Got.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most hospitable place to hang out.
No, it is not. And they'll all tell you the coming down is the thing that scares them because you get there, but now it doesn't count unless you get back down. That guy's done it 32 times. Set a record. He must be like the badass of badasses.
That's like a whole cottage industry, though, right?
Yeah.
People are always competing for the climbers and being their guide and all that.
I wonder how much, let's find out how much a Sherpa makes. So an average Everest Sherpa will make a minimum of $5,000 per season, which to me seems a bit cheap. Now,
that's U.S. dollars?
Yeah. What do you think the average income is in Nepal? So the average income a month is $270. So you're making double that for the year, but you're risking your life. And when you know that you're coming with these companies that are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get you and your friends from whatever business that you guys decided to challenge the world at and climb to the top so you can say you did it, I would think you'd pay more. So you get $5,000 a season, and the season's short. You're only working a few months. What is it, from May till... Is it October? Is the season?
I don't know. I'd be afraid to be up there in October if you just got a off-chance storm or something.
Yeah. Well, and there's small windows in certain parts of the year that you can go, because they don't always go even when it's the climbing season. And you remember too, you got to go there for a while. You just don't show up on a Tuesday and you're like, I'm going to summit on Thursday. Right, you go up a base camp, because that's 17,000 or 21,000 feet, whatever it is. Then you go up to 22,000 feet. Then you stay there, and then you come back down to base camp. Then you go up, and to the second one, you stay there, and come back down to the next one, and then you decide on which day you're going to summit, and you go from there. So it's going to be a busy year. If you had 274, but they've already had several deaths, and the other mountains around them have already claimed some lives as well. So that being said, we move on from there to Tulsi Gabbard is gone. She's out. She was, of course, our big intelligence director. And shocker, she's gone.
She says that she is resigning and stepping away from public service because her husband has been diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer. I just want to read to you a portion from her resignation letter. She writes, quote, "My husband Abraham has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. He faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months. I cannot in good conscience ask him to face this fight alone while I continue in this demanding and time-consuming position."
Yeah. I mean, she had some serious issues, I think. I think she believed the no wars. I think she believed a lot of those things that Trump touted, but I don't know if she counted in the whole thing with Israel and Iran, as most people didn't.
Clearly, there's a personal component to this, but the backdrop of this is that her resignation comes as there's been mounting scrutiny over the war in Iran, and it's been no secret that Gabbard and President Trump have some ideological differences when it comes to foreign policy.
Yes. Absolutely. And we were promised no more wars. We were promised no more of this, and we got it. And now we're in a position where we're sitting around and staring, going, okay, what's next? What's the next thing? And remember, do you remember Stephen Miller and all of them out there saying, if you vote for Kamala, you're going to be at war with Iran? They said that how many times? And now, here we are, at war with Iran, when we shouldn't be. Our prices are going up. Inflation is come back and hit us in the grundle. We've unsettled an area that it's going to take a while to get it back online. Even if it stopped today, if they said, hey, we've all come together, we're all going to be best friends, kumbaya, the whole 9 yards. We're still talking months and months and months. The trader, the person who's essentially the leading trader, so all like Exxon, Chevron, all these big oil companies, they have big traders who go out and they're protecting their future inventory when it comes to commodities markets. He said it's going to take, we may not see normal before the end of the first quarter next year, which is something that, God willing, I hope it doesn't happen, but there's a good chance it could, especially the longer we go. And I have a feeling that this isn't going to be over this weekend. I would like to think that, because I feel like we have an attack coming. And then I think Trump is going to try to go in and cut the best deal possible. But you still have to deal with Israel. What is Israel going to do? I mean, what's their go-to in this? Because you still have to deal with the fact that Israel is, if they want 100% of it to be, they can't do anything at all. They can't have any enrichment at all. Even if you say it's okay that they do it for medical, even if you put people on there, I just don't feel that BB's going to buy it. He wants his own group in power there and I don't think they're going to get that. I think we recognize that. Yesterday, the DNC released their autopsy. 192 pages of, and that was being nice. It was a joke. Supposed to come out last year. Ken Martin, guy running the DNC, said, "Yeah, I can't release this." Right? They hired his buddy, and it's a lot of crap, and everybody knew why they failed. Just like after last year, what's the one thing they did? They go, okay, well, let's do our own small report on just what happened and why did we lose men. Well, it's not hard to find out why you lost men. You ignored them. Absolutely. You demonized them, and then you wouldn't go meet them to come up with, the reason why they should vote for you. So 192 pages. And first, when you go through it, it's almost like watching something where it contradicts itself in so many ways. Where it's like, you didn't go hard enough after Trump, but you also went too hard and made it only about Trump. Huh? First of all, you went hard enough. It just didn't work. People were pissed. They were angry. This whole thing ignores the biggest issue for me, which was Biden. Biden did this on purpose. This was his revenge tour. He promised Pelosi and Obama, I'm going to step away as you guys push me and stab me. And you guys, they had come up with, Schumer and Biden and Nancy had come up with a way that they were going to have a mini primary. And when he did that, that was it. And he did it on purpose. Absolutely. They failed to inspire turnout. Over-relied on the anti-Trump messaging without being anti-Trump enough. They misread the economic anger. That was one of the big ones. But they neglected men. They neglected their base of union, Democrat, middle-class voters. Because they relied too heavy on cultural issues that they failed at. Case in point, this is the ad that they said absolutely crushed them.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The they, them thing. So you heard Charlemagne the God. That absolutely correct. They didn't have an answer for it, so they ignored it. Then she doubled down on it. It puts zero blame on Kamala. And the blame, and there wasn't a lot about what was going on with the Biden administration, but not a lot about Biden. First of all, selfish. Should have been number one. Selfish thing, he ran again, should never have ran again. We've talked about that. Secondly, you're blaming the Biden administration because they didn't bring her into the fold. They didn't make her more of somebody who had a actual job to do and empowered her to go do that was another one of the big things they went after, which to me is hilarious. And they didn't have an answer to, they underestimated how pissed people were, not just about the border, but the fact that you told everybody that inflation was transitory. Right? It's going to be gone in a month or two. It's transitory. You have nothing to worry about.
Inflation's always transitory.
Yes.
It may be 2 years, it might be 6 months, but that was just a buzzword for them to try to get the heat off of it.
And it never worked. And then when people did start to recognize that people were upset, rather than try to be empathetic, they just basically looked at them and said, well, we've got it better than everybody else. Just deal with it. It's not as bad as you think. It isn't.
Well, and it's not unfactual that we had it better than everybody else, but that doesn't mean that it's good.
Yeah. I mean,
he's up there basically telling people, hey, just be glad you're not Spain, man. They've got, 15% inflation. I don't live in Spain. I don't give a rat's ass about Spain.
I don't live in Spain. I mean, we're just talking about the Sherpa making $5,000 a year. Like, it seems like a lot. But when that's double, triple for 3-4 months work for something that, that's a lot. Again, us, we don't live there. And I feel it. If you feel it, I feel it. It makes it real. It's not a feeling. It's real. The feeling is, here's the reality. I go to my bank account. It's costing me more when you put gas in my car. Food's more expensive. And you're telling me, oh, you should be lucky. It's worse elsewhere. That's not the way that works. And when you discount people, that's what happens. The Gaza thing was a big deal too. Huge deal for them. And they had no ground game. They went with vibes and big celebrities and left everybody out. Just a few of the things they did that were horrible. But they don't put any blame on Kamala, which, look, I don't know what kind of blame you could put on her. She was never supposed to be there. You threw her in the deep end because he wanted his revenge and he got it. So I could see why you wouldn't put blame on her. She's not a good politician. She isn't. And it showed. The blame went elsewhere, and it doesn't matter how much money you throw at something. If it doesn't work, you throwing extra money at it to do the same thing doesn't mean it's going to work.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah, I do. We all know that. It is the most election of our lifetime. All right, coming up.
When you hear her speak, it just inspires confidence.
It does. Oh, God, it does. But I said I never blamed her. You should never have been there. And nobody had the balls after she was anointed to come out and say, yeah, this isn't happening. No, this isn't happening. Nobody had the cojones enough because they were all afraid. Why? Because they live in the world of cultural issues matter more. Race, female, can't take it away from her. And so they got what they got. And we got Trump. All right, coming up, more good stuff on the way. Is this Memorial Day weekend? Got some more of the weather, the travel out there. It's going to be nasty and busy. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
Tulsi Gabbard stepping down as Director of National Intelligence. We'll have the latest on that. Also, a new Fed chairman sworn in today, and a Tennessee execution called off. We'll have a report. That's all coming up at 2 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Speaking of stepping down,
I'll say to you what I've said to every audience for the last 11 years, and I have meant it every time. Have a good show. Thanks for being here. And let's do it, y'all.
Yo. Colbert bowed out last night. I only listened to the audio of that. I didn't know. He said bye-bye.
I didn't even think to bother to check it out.
And you know, Trump celebrates it. Like, dude, nobody watches those shows. No, nobody watches the late night. They just don't do it.
They have a very narrow niche audience of people that just want to be told the things they want to hear.
Yeah. And, you know, it doesn't matter what you put on there. Nobody's going to go, God, I got to get home tonight. You know, I mean, even if there was somebody like they would have a band on, you know, like on Kimmel or somebody's like Social Distortion was they did some. I'm just going to go to Social Distortion because they're going to cut out that part where they're playing and I'll watch that.
Or half a dozen people on YouTube will have it posted right after the performance is over.
Exactly. It's just there is nobody watch. First of all, nobody watches television as appointment anymore. It's when I want to watch it. And guess what? Not a lot of people wanted to watch it. And they're not anymore. All right, coming up, hour number 3 of the program. Got some shout-outs to people out there as we say thank you to the men and women who sacrificed so much on this Memorial Day weekend. More of the weather, the travel, among other things. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
It is 2 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll have that weekend weather report. We've got some traffic issues already. An accident, Briley Parkway westbound just before exit 14. That's got the road closed there. And also, we've got considerable delay due to a wreck 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. Yes, folks, it's already beginning, especially with these wet roads. Tulsi Gabbard says she's resigning from her position of Director of National Intelligence, citing her husband's cancer diagnosis. ABC's Selena Wang tells us that Gabbard was really not a conventional pick for the role to begin with.
She came into the role without any traditional intelligence background that drew a lot of scrutiny from members on Capitol Hill. She also built her national profile as an anti-war Democrat, someone who warned against regime change wars. Then she ended up serving as a Republican in this administration during these escalating conflicts in Iran, in Venezuela. And Gabbard has at times made public comments that appear to put her at odds with the messaging from the president and the White House.
Gabbard's resignation effective June 30th. Kevin Warsh sworn in today at the White House as chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. He succeeds Jerome Powell. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas swearing in Warsh. Here's Trump at the event.
Thankfully, unlike some of his predecessors, Kevin understands that when the economy is booming, that's a good thing. We don't have to go crazy. Just let it boom. We want it to boom.
Officials with the CDC say they're sending 7 Ebola experts from Atlanta to Central Africa to try to help contain the current Ebola outbreak there. Dr. Satish Pillai is the CDC's incident manager for Ebola response.
We continue to support DRC and Uganda country offices and Ministry of Health colleagues with near-term focus on expanding infection prevention and control efforts, strengthening contact tracing and surveillance operations, accelerating laboratory confirmation, addressing logistical gaps, and enhancing risk communication and community engagement.
Back here in Tennessee, an execution called off yesterday after medical personnel were unable to establish a required backup IV line during more than an hour of attempts, leading to a one-year reprieve from Governor Bill Lee for Tony Carruthers. Channel 4's Steve Mailing has more.
A one-year reprieve for Tony Carruthers from Governor Bill Lee's office after his attorney says that he suffered for over an hour during what she characterized as a botched execution attempt. A death sentence that hung in the balance of witness statements and no physical evidence, now given new life after a botched execution has given Tony Carruthers a one-year reprieve. Maria Deliberato, Carruthers' attorney from the ACLU, was inside the execution chamber. She describes doctors poking Carruthers in the hands, the feet, the chest, trying to find a backup line, which is required by state protocol.
They were trying to find a vein in his feet. They turned the lights down. They had a vein finder. Doctor asked, does anybody on the team have expertise in jugular access?
The Deliberato says with the year reprieve, they will continue to fight for DNA evidence to be tested and for Carruthers to be found innocent.
The next state execution is scheduled for later this summer. There's no word, however, on whether the state will reevaluate its protocol for lethal injections before then. That is the latest news. A wet weather forecast on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Oh, baby. Prices up at the pump. Highest prices they've been in 4 years. That's not good. Doesn't help any of us. A lot of us hitting the road this weekend, and you're going to, people are going to feel it. There's going to be a ton of people out there. What are we looking at? Every year it's always a record, right? And I remember, was it after COVID? It went crazy. Everybody traveled. Even if you didn't like traveling, you're like, I'm going somewhere. I've been in this house too damn long. I'm leaving.
Yeah, and the prices had gotten to, wasn't it a record low because nobody was buying gas because there was nowhere to go?
Nowhere to go. Good drive. Remember, like, jet fuel was virtually free. They're like, take it. What are we going to do with the dang thing? So people are going to be on the road this weekend. Prices are up. No doubt about that.
Rainy in some places, with 45 million Americans expected to drive or fly in the coming days. But there were some problems to start the weekend. One of the 2 runways at New York's LaGuardia Airport remains closed this morning due to the sinkhole that opened up on the tarmac on Wednesday. Things are expected to get back to normal tomorrow.
But it's rainy here. We're going to have it all the way through the weekend, which sucks for some. I like the rain because I'm not going anywhere. So, not trying to be mean. Why? It's like going out on New Year's Eve, right? It's amateur hour.
Yeah, it's like if you're a drinker and you are responsible about it, the worst 2 times for you to ever go out drinking is New Year's and formerly, but not anymore, a Jimmy Buffett concert.
Really?
Yeah.
People like drinking?
People that only drink 1 time a year or 2 times a year would drink at a Jimmy Buffett show or New Year's.
The whole thing with if you could only drink on New Year's Eve, I could see why people go out. But if you're an adult and you've had a drink, I don't know, every day whenever you've wanted one, there's no reason to go out, right? Just stay. And this weekend's one of those things, too, where it's like, God, the cost of stuff is expensive. But it's this weird, like, okay, it officially begins. I can go on vacation. I can officially go on. You're an adult. Go on vacation when you want to go on vacation. I mean, and it's going to be expensive out there. So just to let you guys know that. I don't know why. Do you have any idea, Belle, why it's expensive right now? Is there any reason why I asked you?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's Obama's fault.
Oh, totally Obama's
Well,
fault.
maybe Biden's. I don't know.
Oh, Biden. I saw somebody the other day try to blame, they were on Fox, of course, try to blame Biden for this. And even the person on Fox is like, okay, let's just settle down. Settle down. Just no. Prices are going to be up this weekend, though, for a lot of things. We know that. Hopefully they come down. The Iran war, not settled, as we know. The question is when? We don't know. We have no idea. Could it be this weekend we have one more big oomph? It's possible. Could it be more of a standoff for the coming days and weeks, hoping and praying that we can wait them out or that something might happen where there is this overthrow of something? But I just don't see that happening anytime soon. They don't seem to be interested in doing anything other than just staring at us and we're staring at them. And, the whole toll system. When you think about it, they're in a much better position than before this started. Because they figured out we don't even need a nuclear weapon to hold the world hostage. We could just do this. And boom. I wonder what they're charging. Here's the thing. What they're not charging is anything that China wants, oil. They're not charging any of their boats. And I think it was Taiwan too, and it was one other one that they said they won't charge for, which is... And China's not really doing anything one way or another. I never expected them to. Although he had the pooter in this week, and the pooter, Trump took he got a few shots thrown at him. The two were kind of laughing at him.
They are charging fees of up to $2 million on commercial vessels and $150,000 on smaller security and navigation fees starting at $150,000.
Man, there you go. That's one of the other things that, it hasn't been talked about. Think about all those boats that are floating there that have been stuck in this perpetual nothingness. And What's it like on board? Those things are supposed to be moving. They're not, but at some point in time, you're stuck there for months. You're running out of food, supplies. How are they getting those things? That's something else to think about as well. Yesterday, Kyle Busch died, and we are now getting this. Apparently, is from TMZ. They got this. This is the day before yesterday. So this was Wednesday that there was an issue that happened before yesterday's big issue.
And I've stopped with.
Here we go. It's a bit long. We're going to play a bit of it, though, and this guy does not seem to be panicking. That's good.
Yes. Could I get an ambulance to come to W, Concord, North Carolina?
And what's your name? And tell me exactly what's happened.
I've got an individual that's shortness of breath, very hot, thinks he's going to pass out, and is producing a little bit of blood, coughing up some blood. He is awake. He's awake. He's on the bathroom floor right now.
Okay.
So when you come in, if you could not make it, can you turn the sirens off?
Yeah, that's fine.
When you get here, and so when you come into the main entrance of the building, the closest way to get to him is if you go to the left. Like you'll come in and the parking lot splits to the right or the left. Just tell them to go to the left. I'll be out here waiting on them, and I'll flag them down. There's a side door further down the side of the building that I'll be there waiting on them.
Okay, we got him coming out there. Just nothing else for him to eat or drink. And if he gets worse in any way before they get there, just call us back. What was the exact name of your business back there?
It's called the General Motors Charlotte Technical Center. It's off of Speedway Boulevard. It's close to. It's right beside HMS Motorsports.
Okay.
Hendrick Motorsports. Yeah.
We will let EMS know. Okay, we got him coming out there.
Thank you very much.
He did not seem to be too worried, and so that was the day before yesterday, and then yesterday morning, he was rushed to the hospital. His family sent out a kind of an announcement that not even one of those things where you like, please keep us in your prayers for Kyle. It was, he's been taken to the hospital and it's severe illness. But when you hear he's coughing up blood, he had a fever and thought he was going to pass out. And then yesterday, and I've heard conflicting things that they found him on the floor, but by the sounds of it, he was in another one of those simulators, and they found him unresponsive. And, they're going to have, later on today, they're supposed to have a press conference about what took place, and I don't think we're going to find anything out. I mean, the speculation is everything from, was it sepsis? It was because of his cold that had turned into something, sinus infection, to a potential brain aneurysm, heart attack. You're going to hear all of it. It's going to take time to figure out what took place. But either way, only 41 years old. Only 41 years old when he died. And this past weekend, it's a weird thing because he won last weekend. And it was at the truck. I think it was the truck one. And he was asked about, hey, how good's this feel?
Busch won more races across NASCAR's 3 national series than any other driver in history. Just last week, after winning at Dover Motor Speedway, he gave a now very meaningful response to a reporter's question.
Why do these moments never get old, Kyle?
Because you never know when the last one is.
Never know when the last one is. And the last one was last weekend. So 41, leaves behind a wife, a couple kids, and complex, his nickname was Rowdy. Not everybody liked him. Denny Hamlin was good friends of his. Said, not everybody liked him. Could be a bit prickly, kind of porcupiney. And that's okay. It's okay. A lot of the greats are. Won a lot, though. Won a lot. Got some of your text messages today. We're trying to gather as much as we possibly can from people who served and, who lost loved ones in battles as we celebrate Memorial Day. Want to give a shout out to brother Justin J. Bones. They did 3 tours together, Afghanistan, Iraq. He passed away last June. So, if you've got some of your loved ones out there that you remember who paid the ultimate sacrifice, let us know, because we're going to try to get it on and just say thank you to those people out there who did serve and who did pay the ultimate sacrifice, who ended up dying. And sometimes you go and you serve, and for many of you out there know this, you don't die on the battlefield that day, but you die inside, and it rots you, and it ends up taking so much away. That happened to my uncle, serving in Vietnam for all those years, and he came, and everybody's like, he was just never the same. Not my other uncle, who's the youngest. My best friend is my other uncle, who's the youngest of it. It was just his older brother, my Uncle Vic, and he was never the same. Everybody said it was tough just watching him melt down, and it takes, it doesn't have to be right then and there. So let us know. You can text us. We'll get you, I'll try to give a shout out to as many as possible. Coming up, a little Finally Friday sounds for everybody. The hantavirus got him. I don't think it was the hantavirus that got him. I heard the Ebola virus too. It was one thing, Ebola virus. Have a feeling we're going to find out it was something as much as a cold that got an infection that made itself much worse, that eventually got to the point where it became maybe organ failure across the board. So I don't think it was the hantavirus, and I don't think it was the COVID shot. I don't think that either. So just sometimes stuff happens.
It was a vampire.
It was the vampire. He's coming back. All right, coming up, Finally Friday sounds on this Friday, Memorial Day weekend. Lots of information, that we're going to be covering throughout the day, because it's travel. You hear Jay giving out all the stuff. Travel's already a nightmare. Weather is going to be problematic, not just here, but across the country. So if you're traveling some of the other states, be prepared. It's going to be wet, nasty, cold in some other areas, and plane delays already. You heard LaGuardia has a pothole. I'm like, are we running that?
No, sinkhole.
Sinkhole. But they're going to get it finished in the next 24 hours. So there's that too. How weird is that? It's like, don't worry. We're going to cover this thing. It's going to be great. If you land, just kind of move over to the left of the runway. Okay? Just smidge.
Use your weight. Help us out.
So we'll have all that. So much more straight ahead. Chad Mitchell, Super Talk 997.
Tulsi Gabbard announcing that she no longer wants to be Director of National Intelligence. We'll have that story. Demonstrations in Havana, Cuba today. What's that all about? Well, we'll let you know at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What are they demonstrating? We're hungry. Somebody help us. We've got no food or fuel. Where's King Marco? He's in Europe dealing with European stuff right now. He'll be back there soon. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. We've got an issue with Iran we're trying to handle. Each and every week, we take a listen back to the chaos, the craziness, lunacy that was, and there's always plenty of it. Because, finally, thank God, it's Friday. He's gone now.
Isn't the y'all kind of a cultural appropriation?
Is it?
He's not from down here.
He is not from down here.
So I think it might be.
He is not. You're correct. He is, where is he from? Feels very, you find out it's probably from the middle of the country. Old Stephen Colbert. So he's gone out to pasture. Oh, wait, nobody watched the show. That's what I always love when people like on the right or left get frustrated over and throw a fit over something they've heard, right? Because you didn't watch it. None of you watched it. None of you did.
D.C.
Oh, he's from D.C.?
Yeah.
Virginia. I bet you his mom and dad, somebody worked for the government. Somebody did. He's a big-time Catholic.
Oh, yeah, and he was never afraid to talk about it on the show.
No, he is. He's a big-time Catholic. And he got to go meet the Pope, set up a big thing over there. He teaches Sunday school every week. So just doesn't work anymore. Late night television just doesn't work. Television just doesn't work. They're going to have to figure out what to do with TV. They'd be better off at this point in time just putting on YouTube and letting people scroll that. They'd probably get more views. I can't even, outside of sports, I cannot remember the last time I watched something on television.
Well, there's a reason all of those shows have a YouTube page.
Yeah. But I mean, I just even outside of Super Bowl, even Sunday or whatever, I cannot remember the last time that I watched a network television show. It's got to be decade plus, maybe more, probably 15 years. Been a long time, no doubt. Been a long
The only
time.
thing that's going to save television is if you allow nudity.
Yes, bad words. If you allow what the streamers are, you might have a chance, but it's nobody's buying it. Nobody is. Nobody's going to go, oh yeah, I'm going to spend all this money on something, because there's just no win in it for them anymore. There isn't. Long time ago there was appointment television, right? You go Thursday nights, you knew, right? Must-see TV. You knew those things. We knew when was the night of shows that we like to watch. MASH was on this day, 60 Minutes here, all that stuff. I think the only thing, was it 60 Minutes is about the only one that really pulls anybody in? And you'll get some of those dancing shows and Survivor, but it's nothing anymore. Nothing. And the reason the dancing shows and the Survivor and stuff is because there's a finite moment where there's a winner and people want to watch it, because otherwise nobody's watching it. I could just watch it on YouTube later. I could watch it on wherever they're streaming if it's that important. Reruns of big shows are more valuable now because they can sell the rights to, Netflix and Hulu. Those things are more valuable. And live television when it comes to sports. But outside of that, nobody's watching late night TV. You could turn it off and nobody would care. Nobody would notice.
Yeah, because they're not tuning in to begin with.
No, they're not. They're not tuning in to begin with. All right, coming up, got some of your text messages. Again, if you have a loved one who served, gave the ultimate sacrifice, text the show, give them a shout out, a thank you, get it out there, because we should celebrate the men and women who've come and who've served and who've paid the ultimate sacrifice. We'll do that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
Coming up on 33 minutes past 2 p.m., I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. That weather forecast coming up here shortly. Tulsi Gabbard stepping down as National Director of Intelligence, citing her husband's health. ABC's Christiane Cordero is in D.C.
In her resignation letter, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard shares her husband was recently diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, saying she's stepping away from public service to be by his side. President Trump reacted on social media, posting in part, quote, "Tulsi has done an incredible job, and we will miss her." In recent months, Gabbard and the Trump administration appeared out of sync, sending mixed messages ahead of the war with Iran. Gabbard is now the fourth cabinet member to leave the administration in 3 months. All have been women. Her last day will be the end of June.
Demonstrations in Havana, Cuba today over the DOJ's decision to charge the 94-year-old in the 1996 shooting down of 2 planes carrying humanitarian aid to Cuba from Miami. And, of course, that would be 94-year-old Raul Castro. The indictment leading to celebrations in the streets of Miami from Cuban Americans, hoping it could be a step toward bigger change. ABC's Matt Rivers, he was in Havana.
What you continue to hear from the Cuban government is a list of defiance to all the issues that the United States raises. They want a change in the way the government operates. They want a change in how the economy operates. They want Russia and China to no longer have any sort of presence on the island there that they would call a national security threat. And now they want Raul Castro in prison. A lot of those, if not all of them, are going to be red lines for the Cuban government. And so what ends up happening is you've got two governments talking past each other and not a lot of progress.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
All right. When your home needs comfort, you can count on who? Pros at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling right now. Take advantage. Special financing going on right now. New HVAC systems up to 12 months, no payments, no interest, no prepayment penalty, and approvals vary by credit. You got a lot of sweet deals going on. Free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler when you install a 17 SEER or high efficiency HVAC unit. If you want a healthy air, they got that deal for you too. Healthy Hive exclusive electronic air cleaner whole home systems, regularly $2,800 now. Yours, $2,300 install. Plus, there's TVA rebates. They're going to handle all of those for you. $800 back on mini split systems, $500 to $800 heat pump systems, even a $50 rebate on AC tune-ups. And if you need some help with plumbing, up to $300 whole home savings on whole home drain repipes, $500 on water distribution repipes. They've got you covered over there at Busy Bee. Call them today, 615-775-7833 or online at busybehvac.com. I'm trying to give as many shout-outs as possible to the men and women out there who served us and who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Chad Bell, thanks. It's going out to Scrappy. Mentor of First Lieutenant William Eric Emmert, killed in action, Iraq, 2009, member of Tennessee National Guard, Unit 269 at their Murfreesboro. Sergeant Brad McGee, United States Marine Corps. Brent Stanley, United States. Bobby Novoselsky, United States Marine Corps as well. We miss you, brothers. So if you've got anybody out there you want to get us their names, we're going to shout it out there. The several of you are still commenting about the DNC and how awful they were. This is funny. This is earlier today. The Chris Matthews. Remember when his leg shook all the way down there? The excitement of, but he was discussing about how crappy the DNC is. And let's be honest, they were awful. They're still trying to figure out why they lost to Trump. And it's amazing because I have friends who are operatives for both sides, the right, the left. They'll come to me and they'll ask me, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And when I was talking to my buddies on the left, and they recognize what the issue is. The problem is it's selling it to the people that have to pull it off. That is a hard thing for them to do. And I'm like, well, if you can't sell it to them, or if they don't understand what the issue is, you're not going to fix it. Yeah, it's not hard. Again, it's not hard. It's not. They make it hard. Both sides make this look way harder than it needs to be. And the Democrats failed. You used to be the party of what, right? As a kid growing up, all the way up until, even into my 40s, the right was... they're the conservative party, smaller government, which we know is BS. They're not going to spend as much, which we know they're spending a ton. They are, it's Wall Street. It's the fat cat with the cigars looking over, it's Scrooge McDuck, essentially. And the left was always for the working guy, the little guy, right? That guy out there that's just doing the thing, just barely surviving.
Little fella.
Little fella. As Ken would say, little fella. Absolutely. The little fella. And you know what? Sorry. It's not it. It's not who they are. They're academia. That's who they are. They're academia. They are activists. It's the A's. They need to go to AA. Academia and activists. You've got too many people around who are telling you things, and that's why you fail, because they're telling you things that the average person doesn't give a rat's ass about. No. Paying for hormone therapy and sex reconstruction therapy for people in prison is not going to win you the average person's vote. No, ignoring men, especially young men who are disillusioned and pissed off as they've seen the schools, even the education system across the board, go to an area where it's all about what? Little boys they're a problem. You need to shut up and you need to sit there and you need to get on some medicine. And it's become a place where if you're a man, you are what? You're everything. Kylie is the person that they would listen to when that's not the average person, even Democrat that I know, but they would listen to her.
Unless you're a little boy who thinks he shouldn't have a penis, and then you're definitely going to be paid attention to and allowed to go in the girls' restroom.
Of course. Allowed to. Even if you only think you don't have a penis.
I shouldn't have been born this way. Well, you were.
But you were, right? But you were. I should have been born more like Brad Pitt, but instead I'm more like Frumpy. I'm more Fred Flintstone than Brad Pitt. So you do that, you're going to, and they're not learning from it because the battle's going on right now inside of the party. They can't raise money. I think the Republicans right now have about $150 million cash on hand. The Democrats have $3 million, and they're actually negative because they're still paying off the failure of 2024. And the Gaza thing hurt them. It did, because there was a way of going about talking about it. I talked about it. We don't need to kill 70,000 people. You don't need, the way they did it, though, was they got behind people that were radical rather than say, there's a better way of doing this. And the money dried up. And then, even if they wanted to give the Democrats, there were always stipulations about you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, or I'm pulling my money. And then they felt like they got lied to. And as we've learned, right, Thomas Massey, perfect example the other day. Do you know how many people gave to Ed Gallerin from Kentucky? 50.
50 individuals?
50.
Wow.
Did you see his? So Thomas Massey's party, you know, they have their parties at the end of the night. His place is packed out, it's overflowing. They go to Ed Gallerin's, there's like 8 people there. How much money was spent to win what? A primary. Money can make a difference. The problem was the money they spent in 2024 was absolute crap. They spent it on bringing in big-name stars to do stuff, to go on vibes. You abandon your base, that's what happens. Trump is struggling right now. Why? Because the base, right? Not people that are MAGA, right? That doesn't matter. Some of you out there, you get it, right? Like Trump is doing the right thing with Iran, even though he said that they were going to attack Iran, Kamala, and that we shouldn't do it. But that you figured out how to twist yourself into a way to make it so you can say this is it. I'm talking about the average Republican, independent, libertarian. You're abandoning them. You're telling them, hey, guess what? Deal with the higher gas prices. Hey, guess what? You know, affordability is a made-up word. That's what Biden did. And you keep doing that, you're going to fail. You keep doing that, and you are going to fail. Rest in peace. Kevin Dreyer, PFC Army, hit by an IED in Afghanistan, survived, came back, started tech school, had a blood clot, passed away in his early 20s. Again, give us, as we wrap it up here, we're trying to get as many on as possible. I know, Bell, you read the names of the people that have been killed in Operation, what is this? Enduring Freedom?
Epic Fury.
Epic Fury. I don't even know. There's so many of them out there. Midnight Hammer. We got Donald William Caldwell, Air Force vet, Cold War, passed away 2023, exposed to radiation. Yeah, so... Chad, would we have been better off with Kamala? I didn't say that. Here's the problem.
People have got to stop thinking binary.
Yes, exactly.
It's like you think your only choices are a Republican or a Democrat.
Yeah.
You don't have to vote for either one if you don't want to. And if there's enough third-party independents and people like that start getting votes, both of these parties will shape their ass up real quick.
Yes, 100%. Here's we would be better off with better choices. The two parties have rigged the system. They want they're Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They don't want anybody else in their yard. That's what it is. And they don't like it. Why is my choice? Would we be better off with something that, no, we'd be better off with not sucking. That's what we'd be better off with. Better choices across the board. That's what we'd be better off with. And I'm not even just talking about the president. I'm going all the way up and down the tickets everywhere. We'd be better off with more choices of people that are in it for the right reasons and who aren't just elevated. We've gotten to the point now where politics has become kind of like the music industry is. We're going to pick a band, we're going to throw a lot of money behind them, and we're gonna shine them up and make them look good, and it's the new BTS or it's the new Backstreet Boys or whatever. Sans the substance and whether or not it's any good. I don't know much about the BTS. Backstreet Boys, I guess they did their thing. But that's kind of what we have now. We have this. We have pop culture politics, which is frustrating. William Richard Craig, United States Navy. Thank you for your service. Absolutely. Appreciate that. Again, trying to get out as many shout-outs as we possibly can. Matt's coming in as we wrap it up today.
He's cutting spots, so I don't think he's going to.
Oh, he's not?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're, what are they going to talk about? They got fun stuff today. They got stuff going on. Dude, you cannot sell a majority of voters considered bad policy by trying to changing your selling techniques or buying more marketing to change your policies. No, you can outspend. You can outspend. It's a big deal. Outspending matters. Trust me, if you've got enough money and you can make yourself name recognition, you can win. You can absolutely win. All right, coming up, I got some more of your text messages, and he's going to be cutting some spots. So, Matt, looks like, so what we're going to try to do, if we still have time, we're going to get some more of the names out there. Celebration of people who've sacrificed so much for our country. Chad Bench, Super Talk 99.7. Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Abrego Garcia, you guys remember him? Yeah, they dismissed all charges against him. What? Yes. So he's the one they sent down to that, was it CCOT or whatever down there in El Salvador?
Yeah, it was that prison. I can't remember if that's the pronunciation of the name, but it sounds close.
Then they basically, at that point in time, it was that Van Hollen went down there and met with him. They had a margarita. They released, they dismissed everything. He still faces deportation efforts from, this. They're trying to get him out of here. And I never had a problem with deporting him. My issue has been he deserved due process. And the second thing was, send him to where he's from. Pretty much that's it. Judge Crenshaw quoted former Attorney General Robert H. Jackson and basically said, hey, because he was famous for saying, have a crime that's associated with the person. Don't pick a person and then try to find his crime. So Abrego Garcia not going anywhere now. Probably will, though. I still think he'll be deported because he wasn't here legally. It's that simple. Shout-outs. Sergeant Lonnie F. Wagner passed away. Served in Vietnam, 1967. Specialist Steve Bleffins, killed in action, Afghanistan, 2011. We're trying to get as many of these on as we possibly can. As we wrap it up here on this Friday, it's going to be an interesting weekend. I still think, God willing, nothing happens with Iran and we could figure it out. Although I saw Trump say that we control the Straits of Hormuz. It's ours. If they would just reopen it, that'd be nice. Isn't that kind of funny? Yeah, that's mine. It's all mine. If he'd give it back to me. Oh, Lord. Hold on, I'm an idiot, guys. Illegals don't get due process in the way you mean. You're an idiot.
So rights aren't inherent then?
No.
Okay, got it.
They do get due process.
Government gives us rights instead of them being part of what God gives us.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, and you do get due process. Due process, that's what he just got, was due process. You get due process. You can't just grab somebody and say, we're sending you to another country. If there's already a case going on, you do that. Remember, Obama turned a lot of people away right before they got through the border, snatching people up and sending them places. So thank you so much for calling me an idiot. Coming up next, the one and only Matt. You guys have a safe, amazing weekend for everybody out there who's served. God bless each and every one of you. And we'll be back here on Tuesday.